I still struggle with what to let go and what to work toward, if that makes any sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to set goals and you have to kind of work towards different things. And how do you let go of not achieving that and working towards that, right? Sometimes the harder you work, the harder it is to achieve.
Mm-hmm. Think of something you're trying to achieve. Okay. How do you think you're going to feel when you achieve that? So where in your past did you have to feel like you had to justify your actions? Or you got praised for doing something that made money or helped people? Or really what this comes down to, the root of this, is that you identify your worth in making money or achieving something or helping people. There's something inside of you that is saying to yourself that you are not worthy. Okay. And I don't like that worthy. Like, you are not good enough. You are not seen, right? I'm just trying to think of different words that might hit you differently. You are not a person, a good person, whatever it is. You are not something unless you are doing this. Your whatever that is, whatever that, if it's worthiness, if it feels good, if you're good enough, if you're seen, or whatever, is being attached to success. And that is a learned behavior, okay? Because if you look at your generation, like, that is how we learned. When you do that, if you're not doing the thing that makes you feel good, then you're shaming yourself. When you feel good about yourself and who you are, you know you don't have to prove yourself. Because that's basically what we're doing by trying to be successful and achieving. And that's why you go on to the next thing. This is why people take a class, don't even finish it, and then go sign up for another class. Because signing up for the class actually makes you feel good, right? Because it's like something new and exciting, and you think you're going to change something, but then you don't change something. So you shame yourself, and then you move on to the next thing. The point is I was in that rat race. Okay. I was in that when I was selling the program and stuff like that. I was in that rat race. And I was like, I spent $40,000 on coaches to teach me how to make more money. Right. And I finally got to the point where I was like, fuck this. I'm like, oh my God, this is such a toxic situation. This is chasing the dream, chasing the success, you know? And I'm like, screw that. I don't want any part of it. Right? Because I don't need to prove my worth through the money I make. I can prove I don't need to prove my worth. That's the point. But like, you know, now it's like, I'm going to cut the program. I'm doing it different, but cut the program in half, probably price wise. And then, because I want to help people, and I don't need to prove that I'm successful because I make $100,000 a month. Right? I don't need to prove that anymore because I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I can see the success in all of you and all of the other students that have been in my program. And I want to share that with the world. So what I'm trying to say to you is that just because you're not as successful as you think you should be, I want you to look at your life and see how successful you really are. And realize that if you were to just stay where you are right now, that is enough. Okay. Take a deep breath in. I need you to take a deep breath in, and I need you to feel that. You're not feeling that. I feel it on the outside. You're pushing, you're resisting.
I'm not, because
Now, listen, that does not mean that you don't go after your dreams and like become what you want to become. It doesn't mean that. What it means is that you don't have to. The moral of the story is that if you are just who you are right now, if you have what you're going on in your life right now, I want you to take a deep breath in with that. And I want you to accept it, that you are good enough right now. There's nothing else that you need to prove, nothing else that you need to do to feel good. Take a deep breath in. letting it out. This is an ego thing. You're always chasing the next thing or wanting to achieve more to prove to everybody else and yourself that you should be seen, that you are a good person, that you are successful, that you are worthy, because you are attaching whatever resonates with you and what I just said, if anything, and anything else, you are attaching that to who you are and the things you do. Right? But even the homeless person on the street, there is nothing different between that homeless person and me. We're all going through our own lessons. Just because that homeless person on the street, maybe they had $1 million corporation before they were homeless, right? But we see the homeless. Okay? That doesn't mean he's not smart. There was this, I don't know where I just saw this, but they were saying, I think it was a TikTok interview, you know, like we judge homeless people because like we don't want to give money to homeless people because all they're going to do is go buy drugs or alcohol, right? And they were talking about, they were saying like, well, yeah, they have to survive on the streets, like in the cold. They need those drugs and alcohol to actually survive. Yet we judge them and not give money to them because we're judging that. But we don't look at all of the factors around it. You don't judge other people, but you're judging yourself. So give yourself the same grace as you give other people. I want you to think back. I need you to do that because there's a root of where that's coming from. Somebody made you feel lazy. Somebody called you lazy if you didn't do something, you know, or maybe you just felt lazy compared to somebody else. Maybe it was a teacher. Somewhere in your life, you formed the limiting belief that if you're not doing something, then you are lazy. Maybe it was your mother saying it to your father saying it to your mother, somebody saying it to somebody else, wherever that came from. You need to change that limiting belief. And it could just be society. Society, that's what society teaches us. If we are not doing something, we are lazy, unproductive, and that's not who we should be. And that's why the generations now, we are calling them lazy. You see that? Because they're not doing things the way that we did things. Our limiting beliefs tell us that if we are not being productive and we are not accomplishing something, then we are lazy and no good.